For some reason I feel like talking about Line Rider right now, so I am going to make a video talking about Line Rider. And I think I want to talk about some of my tracks. You know how Chuggers every once in a while does those commentary things going through his tracks and stuff? I think I want to do that. I want to discuss some things, just some things about my tracks. And I think we'll start with The Mountain Will Fall. I recently watched Rabid and OTDE's review of my track, and it just made me want to talk about it a little bit, because it made me realize that people don't see the track like I see it. And I'm not the biggest, I do think Line Rider is an art, kind of, I think that there can be something said about it being an art form, but I don't think about it too deeply. I don't mean I don't constantly think this segment of the thing will be all compact and showing stress and all this, and then it's gonna open up and it'll be free and it'll be relaxed and it'll be beautiful. I don't do that. I just make a track. I just want to make a track, so I make a track. And I focus on what the track looks like. That's kind of where the art comes to for me. And I guess animation. I'm working on a lot of animation stuff right now. But, and that's a different kind of art, I suppose. But in this, I thought this segment right here, the first part, was awesome. I didn't like the rest of it, honestly. I did not like the ending of this. I didn't like after he did this fling and went on to his crazy fast-paced adventure. This is the part I liked. This is the part I made the track for. And they didn't seem to like it that much. They were like, this is kind of, every other track that does this kind of style made it just like this, so it's not very exciting. I disagree, but whatever, I really don't care. I guess I'll just play it slowly and talk about it. I loved the compactness of this track. This is the track I worked most hard on space recycling, I think, ever. Maybe 12 June 3049, maybe. Maybe was a similar space recycling attempt, but I really tried to make this one just kind of beautiful with how crazy it all was. And I love the lines inside of it. Like the ugly, they don't even have to really be really good green lines. I wasn't trying to make them super, I didn't want to make it look like he wrote on every single green line. I just wanted to make it look a little sane in those places, for lack of a better word. I just like every time he's flying around it, and you kind of wonder how he eventually will touch that line, and how that will bring some sort of calmness to the craziness, I guess. And right there, it turns into these lines, and it's kind of nice looking. I wanted to just keep throwing him through the mess with all these big lines. And I don't really care that it looks ugly. That one's pretty ugly, but I don't care. It just puts a line there, and it's more for the whole look of the track instead of the feel of the track, if that makes sense. It's more of the aesthetic. It's not really because I want to fool anybody into making them think I am a better track maker than I really am. It's just because I like the look of it. And yeah, this is the part I loved. I loved this part. I was very proud of this whole part. But then when the review came on and they were talking about this part like it was, more revolutionary and not many people have been doing it, I also disagree on that. I feel like people have been doing this for a long time. I guess that some little animation here and there are the only parts that people haven't really done, but I've seen this kind of stuff all over the place. Or I feel like I have, maybe not. But fast-paced stuff isn't very new. And again, this goes back to me just liking the aesthetic. I'm not trying to make an epic track synced to anything right now. I'm just trying to make a track that I like. They also talked about this part like it was really cool. The when he was falling right there, they oh geez, I sped it up. I meant to make it slower. They were talking about this part like, yeah, this part with all these dots, it really makes it look cool how it stretches out and stuff. Like, I don't know, it felt like they thought that I was the first person to do it, which I totally wasn't. I think Dap really started doing that about a year ago, and I just kind of stole it from him. I didn't think anything of it, so I thought it was just a tiny little thing to add to the nothing right there. But yeah, I'll stop it for now. I don't know. That's what I wanted to say about the track. There's a few more things. Actually, one of the fun things I wanted to talk about, and I don't want to like disagree with people's opinions. I don't care what they think about my tracks, but I just thought it was interesting that everybody sees tracks differently. They loved the ending, or they were talking about it way more in depth. They were like, "This is really cool. This needs to be done more. This is crazy. You gotta." And then at the end of it, they're like, "Dude, you gotta make more of these parts. You know, you can skip this part, but do more of the big stuff at the end." Yeah, this is the part I like to make. This is the fun part to me. So we'll see where it goes. If I want to do more of the intense stuff, then maybe I will. But whatever. The thing I wanted to tell you guys that's kind of fun about this track, they also were wondering how or why the track is so weirdly synced to music. Because in this whole thing, up until right here, which is probably, let's see how long that is, I think it's 50 seconds or something like that, where there's just kind of going around the track. Yeah, it's about 48 seconds, then it goes back down and then flies back up, so 55 seconds probably. 4, 5. So like the first 55 seconds of it are the craziest part of it, like the fastest paced, and they do all this stuff, but it's synced to the slowest part of the song, and it's really like just the really quiet stretch of noises phasing in and out, or notes phasing in and out, and it's really calming. And they were like, why did I use that? And I didn't use that at all. That was not my intention. I actually have it synced to a completely different song. It's kind of a fun fact about this track. It's synced to a song called Pink and White. Actually, I think it's called Pink Plus White, but I don't know why the plus isn't there. Pink Plus White by Frank Ocean. His name is Frank Ocean. Oh shoot, why did I close that? His name is Frank Ocean. And it's totally synced to a different song. The whole thing. Actually, just the crazy part. It's synced to Pink and White by Frank Ocean. And I will show that clip now with the right song, just to show you guys what it's supposed to sound like. And then I'll talk about why I switched it over right after that. Okay, the reason I switched it over, the reason I didn't use that song instead, was because I liked the other one better. Not even really with this track or anything, I just wanted to hear it more, so I put it in this instead, just to see what it would look like. And that crazy part, or that calm part before the scream fling right here, is almost fit it perfectly, like this chunk of crazy. And I thought it would be cool to do a crazy part in the calm part, and then right when the drums come in and the big bass things hit, do nothing. I don't know, I just thought it'd be kind of a cool little thing to try out and see if people liked it or not. And that's why I switched the track at the last second. Switched the song at the last second. And it's not crazy synced, but that is what the feel of the track was supposed to be before I switched it over to something completely different. It's like 2 tracks in one, really, this track. Yeah, I wanted it to be fast-paced, but kind of calm at the same time, like he has a direct path, he never ever really stops. I wanted that to happen the whole time, throughout the whole song. But then I changed it. And that's what The Mountain Will Fall actually is. 2 tracks in one. Unintentionally 2 tracks in one. And that's my take on it. I'm enjoying talking about these, so let's just go to another one, shall we? This one is very nice. I like this track. This one makes me happy. It makes me smile when I think about it. It's called Hello, How Are You? And the reason it makes me smile is because I asked my girlfriend to pick out a song that I could sync a track to. And she picked out Hello, How Are You? And I loved it. It was perfect for what I wanted to do. And now it reminds me of her a little bit. This is kind of getting cheesy. I gotta stop talking about it. But yeah, I'm gonna watch it in slow motion because there are a few things I want to talk about in this track too. This is one of my... I don't think many people liked this track particularly. It wasn't the biggest track I've ever made or anything. Just kind of normal, a normal track. I have a lot of those. I have a lot of projects that are, you know, like, just kind of tracks with no purpose. For some reason, people think there has to be purpose to tracks now. Like, this track specifically demonstrates my amazing ability to do this, or this track goes in a direction that has never been taken before. And I think that's great. That's really cool that you can do a 2-frame 500 ppf singularity, or you can convey this message in 20 lines or whatever. But I mean, you gotta just do some tracks too. I feel like every just kind of track is taken for granted now. Nobody really looks at them anymore because they want to see a new thing or some weird thing. This is what that is. It's just a track. It's not trying to say anything. I just enjoyed making it, and I know it was long enough that I could probably put an end to it and then post a video of it. That was the whole thing. No idea, no concept through the whole thing. That's what most of my tracks are. And I think that that's okay. Bit of a rant there. I want to talk about this part specifically, actually. I think this was everybody's favorite part. This was my favorite part. The head bobs exactly synced to the music. I'll play that part really quick. Okay, I wanted to say, kind of a confession. Not really a confession, but kind of. That was a complete accident. I drew the line there, and in Line Rider Advanced, the song was playing, and that just kind of happened. I wanted to do a head thing. I wanted to slide on his head right there, but the bobbing was... I totally forgot about the bobbing. I didn't know that he was going to do that. And that was a total accident, and I loved it. It was my favorite thing of the whole thing. It was great. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm not that good of a track maker to be able to be like, dude, let's do a head bobbing on beat with this part of the song. Couldn't do that. I liked this recycled cramule right here. It's a fun one. Little recycled cramule. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to talk about this one. I just wanted to tell you guys that I couldn't do that head bobbing thing on purpose. It's an accident. There's a lot of good recycling in this track. I like the recycling in this one a lot. But to keep on going with my rant, nothing really special about this one. And it's awesome. I love it. It's great. It's one of my favorite tracks I've ever made, actually. Nothing special about it. That's all. I can't think of more to rant about, actually. Just, I like this track for what it was. Didn't have to say anything. Didn't have to prove anything. And it was a beautiful little track I liked. I liked to make, and it was really fun to make. And it makes me happy every time I see it. It's small, it's compact, and it makes me happy. That's all. That's a good one. We're on a roll. Let's keep going, shall we? These two will be real quick. I made this in about a day. I hate it. I hate LY so much. It was such a bad track. So I scened it, and it still sucked. Then the next one, Rings. People liked this one for a very different reason than I did. I totally get it. I was really proud of my recycling in this one. I wanted to see how much I could recycle. I'm not like Sheldon level recycling a freaking gravity well loop 7,000 times or a manual 8,000 times. I just like to recycle flat sled. I think it's kind of fun. So I did that in this one. And the part that people liked was unintentional. I did kind of like the look of it, but the point of the track was to try to just recycle as much as I could. It was almost called Nonsense 2, actually. That track a long time ago, I did Nonsense, and it was a recycling flat sled as well. But this is the part people actually like in it. The long flat sled of nothing with these gravity wells underneath showing foreshadowing, kind of like, when's that gonna happen? That's kind of cool. That wasn't really my intention. I didn't plan that to happen at all. I just wanted the super long line there because the music syncing made the music syncing a bit easier. And then it just kind of happened that he was right below there, and I'm like, well, he needs to be doing something. I guess I can put him upside down for exactly as long as the other one because it syncs with the music. And nobody actually noticed because nobody watches those color replays, but I did make the words different in the color replays. It's bleeding or something creepy. There's no reason for that. I just felt like it. And that's all I have to say about that. Nothing really. But the part people liked about that was kind of unintentional as well. That's all for that one. Let's see. What else is there? This is a great little track. I love it a lot. It's one of my... it's currently one of my favorites. I really like this kind of super compact music synced, or at least a little bit music synced tracks. I tried to make it as compact and as music synced as I could. And yeah, I don't remember if people liked it at all. It came out a little while ago. I just kind of tried to make it as messy as possible. Tried to make it look cool with all these dots and chains going everywhere. I thought that was really awesome. Oh, that's something I could talk about. When this track came out, it was actually reviewed by Rabid and OTDE, and I honestly forget what they said now. It's been a long time. It was over the summer. Either way, I remember that OTDE said, you know, Shua, which also is the wrong way to say my name, but I have been too embarrassed to correct anybody. Also, I'll talk about that in a second. Shua, or Apple, has a very interesting naming convention. He names tracks things like Here, and, like short little things like... I don't actually think he could remember any of my track names to give more examples, but I know what he means. Like Rings, LYI, Here, Hello, how are you? They're just short little things, Unity, Boss Fight, those didn't come out, but yeah. And then he said something like, and then he just randomly releases a track called 12 Juin 3049. And he was confused about, what my naming convention was. And if nobody's figured it out yet, it's just It's literally just the song that I use. Nonsense is called Nonsense because it's the song that I used to make the track. This one's called 12 June 3049 because it's a Caravan Palace song called 12 June 3049. And every single one of them, The Mountain Will Fall, isn't just the album called The Mountain Will Fall, but it's the song called The Mountain Will Fall on the album The Mountain Will Fall by DJ Shadow, I think. And everything here is here. Hello, How Are You is called Hello, How Are You. LYI is... Actually, that's the closest to being completely not my naming convention. LYI is a song called Lotta Years. Like a lot, but just Lotta Years, and the I is instrumental. LYI, so it's Lotta Years instrumental, but that doesn't make sense in a track name, so I just did LYI instead. That's the furthest I've ever deviated. All of these are just the name of the song. And yeah, even this one, Fantasy, I'm working on that one. Is called Fantasy because it's synced to Fantasy. Monday Jam is actually called Monday Jam because it's a YouTube video of a guy that I like named FKJ. And he just titled it Monday Jam, so it's called Monday Jam. Odd Soul, synced to Odd Soul, Mystery Fish. All just the song. And yeah, except for these small ones that I don't know what I'm going to do with yet, like Recycle Crap and Cute Lil. Yeah. One last thing before I stop the video, I suppose. I'll work on this track a little bit while I talk about it. It can be kind of like a preview. Oh boy, the fans are heating up my computer. Or, I guess it's the opposite, isn't it? My name. It was a quick roll. I don't even know what this video is about. It's just a bunch of rambling because I wanted to talk about line reading things. I mentioned a little bit ago that my name isn't actually Shua, and it's true. I mean, first of all, it's Apple now. People call me Apple. Has been for years. I just haven't changed. Haven't changed it online yet. So I go by Apple now. But I did go by SHUA. It wasn't Shua, it was Schwa. And actually, I think one of the first times OTDE and I talked, he said, wouldn't it be funny if you pronounced your name Schwa instead of Shua? I said, yeah. But that's actually how you're supposed to say it. Long story about how I got it, but it's totally my nickname outside of Line Rider and inside. Or was until recently. So yeah. So I'm called, or I was called Schwa, not Shua. So if anybody ever has to say what my old name was for any reason, it was Schwa. I know it's counterintuitive because my real name is Joshua, and the last four letters are SHUA, and that makes a Shua sound. But it's pronounced like SCHWA, like the upside down E that is used for pronunciation demonstration or stuff like in dictionaries. The upside down E is actually called a schwa, and that's what it sounds like. That's what it's supposed to sound like. So yeah. And then Apple, I think, is pretty easy to figure out. It's not Apple like in the kind of computers, even though I am using a Mac right now. It's not Apple. Like, I'm not trying to show support or anything like that. I'm just it's Apple just because it's a nice sounding word. Actually, it's Apple because Tulip was taken. Some guy named Tulip was like, dude, my name's Tulip. I'm like, dude, that's the sickest name. I love the name. It's nice, and it just sounds nice. Like, who would think of a guy named Tulip playing these video games? It was at a college fight night thing. We were playing Smash, Super Smash Bros. And he went by Tulip, and I thought that was the coolest thing because nobody expects to be beaten up by a guy named Tulip, and he was really, really good. So, and so I'm like, if you can come up with another really nice name like that, I'm totally willing to switch my gamer tag over to something else. He's like, well, how about Apple? Apple's kind of nice. Apple's a little nice name. And ever since that night, I've been going by Apple. Well, for fighting games and other games, I switched it to Apple. So I finally switched over Line Rider recently, and people are still calling me Shua or Shua. That's fine. But yeah, that's how you pronounce my old name. And yeah, this is my new track called "Cute Lil." I don't even have a song synced to it yet, or I don't have a song chosen out or anything. It's fun to make. I'm gonna keep going. If you watched all this, thank you for watching. I will do. I really enjoy talking about Line Rider. I think it's fun, so maybe I'll make more of these. If people show interest, if people don't show interest, if people say stop making them, these are the most boring thing ever. I'll probably still make like 3 or 4 of them. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you did, if you didn't, then I don't care. Thank you for clicking. If you didn't, that's everybody else. And I'll talk to you guys next time. See ya.